I play the games, yeah. I don't mess around, straight to the point. No need to expound, I'm just Jim.
Hello everybody and welcome to the video. In the background we've got Elite Dangerous. This is just the background footage, right? Unedited, that you haven't seen before. And this video is all about my dislikes about No Man's Sky, what I hate, right? Which gets on my nerves, right? Really. And remember, this is only the introduction. Do not unsubscribe, right? If you have a different opinion to me, just leave your different opinion in the comments. You might find that people agree with you more than they agree with me. Right, so I do apologise if I'm sniffing, right? I'm full of hay fever. So you have to deal with that. And if anybody comes up with a comment saying I say okay all the time, okay. So, as you all follow me because I do some very, very brutally honest, opinions about certain things in games. And I am not a fanboy of any game, and this is including No Man's Sky. Please be aware of this before you actually watch this review. I mean, not review, this, this discussion. And remember, leave your comments below. Right? So, without further ado, intro over, let's get into the things that annoy me about No Man's Sky. Cool. Normal people would blame this on the community having a low attention span, but it's nothing to do with the community's low attention span, it's to do with the updates being so shallow. In the early days of No Man's Sky, Hello Games made updates that made you would last a long time, and yes, I know they've been working on Light No Fire for the last 5 years and putting half their team onto No Man's Sky, right? Instead of having a full team on No Man's Sky like they used to do. The updates for No Man's Sky in the olden days used to last a very long time. They had loads of content and they were jam-packed. And you were even playing the updates right up into the next update, right? The previous ones. So, and you're still playing them now, right? So the updates are shallow, they're small and shallow. And what I mean by small and shallow, they bring out an expedition that's so easy and they give a 7-week period on it, right? Or why do they do that? Updates are updates in No Man's Sky. They are quick fixes, right? And even the big major updates aren't that long. They don't have that much content in them for people to play. So that's one thing that annoys me is updates, right? Okay, now let's go on to the next. Here's the next one. Overlaying bugs. Yes, the bugs in the updates. But one update to the next, there's always bugs in the game. And people say to me, yes, Hello Games have got a bug testing team. I'll tell you what, if they have, they've got to do a really poor job at it, right? They always get the community to bug test their updates for them and they send the reports over to Zendesk, and they fix them, right? So, what I mean by overlaying bugs, right? We still have bugs from the early updates in No Man's Sky, and they've never been patched, ever. Right? For example, flying into the space anomaly. I don't know if you get this, right? But sometimes I have to reload the space anomaly several times, right? Before I can get into the space anomaly, right? People say that's because there's too many people in the lobbies and it doesn't let you in. But the fact is, they should be able to, upgrade the lobby size, right? But even in quiet periods in No Man's Sky, that happens. That's really annoying, and they should have patched that bug a long time ago, and they didn't, right? And they still haven't done it, and there's loads of bugs in the game for all the platforms that haven't been overlaid from previous updates. So when they're creating a new update, they're adding more bugs onto the existing bugs in the game, instead of doing one update where they fix all the bugs, and then we're all good. Right, okay, let's go on to the next one. Ridiculous update ideas. Okay, now then, let me go into a few. First of all, the one that annoyed me the most was the ship customization. Let me explain ship customization. This shows that Hello Games didn't do enough research into it and probably went with what content creators on YouTube wanted. Right? The ship customization was good to a certain degree, but when they brought the colours into the ship customization, it made certain ship types not rare anymore. What ship hunters didn't, well, when we ship hunted, right, we were ship hunting, right, we looked for certain colours like purple, right, and it was the reason why we jumped galaxies and stuff like that, was to find purple ships, because purple and black coloured ships were rare in No Man's Sky. You'd only find them in later galaxies and stuff like that. Now, what's the point in going to later galaxies now to actually look for these ships, purple ships? Because we can't now, because we've got a colour palette that just gives you everything you want. And this is leading on to the next thing, right? But we'll go about this. And also bringing in cheat menu, the options menu. If you don't know what the options menu is, it's the difficulty menu. It was labelled the cheat menu, right, when it first came out. That means it gave people the opportunity to create their own gameplay style, even though we have normal, survival, creative and permadeath, right? As modes we could have gone in originally. So anybody who wanted an easy mode could have just gone into creative mode. But what they've done is they've adjusted the play mode so you can play at any mode you want, right, on the fly. But what that means is it's made it too easy for people, and it gives people the opportunity to cheat whenever they want. You can do it mid-game, you see. And they brought this in because of the Nintendo Switch, because they wanted to, entice younger people into the game, and it didn't seem to work, and it annoyed a lot of people at the time. So anyway, let's go on to the next one. I'm trying to talk about No Man's Sky, but this one I'll talk about Hello Games as a company itself, right? This is one thing that really annoys me about Hello Games is the actual lack of communication between the company itself and the community, right? They do not talk to the community, ever. I mean, it's very rare. They might contact a content creator for YouTube to actually do something for them, right? Very, very occasionally, right? But normally they just do not communicate with the public at all. They've got something called Zendesk, and it's a bug reporting system which goes to Hello Games. People can put suggestions across there, but Hello Games do not contact the public at all. I know that Captain Steve and others do a meeting at the Three Pigeons pub in Guildford, right? Once a year. But Sean Murray never turns up for that, and I think he should. I think he should get up his arse and actually meet the community, but he doesn't. And they've got an absolute non-communication with the actual public. They just, they're not a very upfront type of company. They like to stay behind closed doors. Anyway, that's one annoyance. Right, let's go on to the next. Not fulfilling the game's potential. No Man's Sky has got huge potential. You've got all these galaxies. You've got all these different separate biomes they've got in these galaxies, and nothing ever seems to change, right? It's very monogamous, right? It's very samey. Hello Games definitely need to put something into the procedural engine that, creates, long-term gameplay, and they don't. Other content creators have mentioned bringing in new biomes and stuff like that into the procedural generation, but they don't. I think the furthest they've gone regarding procedural generation is new ships, but they've never really introduced new biome. Well, they have, but that was a long time ago. But more new biomes, more new places to go, places to visit, that's procedurally generated. But they don't. It just stays the same. And when you've been to one ice planet, you've been to them all, right? So it just becomes incredibly boring. I know it's a tough task. I know Hello Games have got, only half of their team working on No Man's Sky. But really, theoretically, they could do it, right? They could do it. They could introduce something that's procedurally generated that makes the game a bit more interesting. They brought out the Wonders catalogue, right? But that's just cataloguing things that we've got already, bringing new things into the game, right? Yeah, and they tried it in the last expedition, the Adrift expedition, where they brought in a new universe. But that never went into a normal game. That was just part of the expedition, which was disappointing. If that type of thing was normally in normal game all the time, it'd make the game a bit more interesting, but it doesn't, right? So, yeah, uninteresting. Really boring at times. Anyway, next one. Right, this is the final one. It's the multiplayer services. The multiplayer services in No Man's Sky is absolutely shocking. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. You can hardly get more than 3 people in a lobby at a time without it messing up. And it's a pain, really, because No Man's Sky is supposed to be a multiplayer game, and you're supposed to be able to, invite people into a game. Yes, you see people in the space are normally playing with you, but when you're wanting several people in your, system at a time, several hundred people playing with you in a live stream, or going to a live stream or something like that with loads of people. It never seems to happen in No Man's Sky, and that's bad, really, you know. And they should do something with the multiplayer, you know, experience, but they don't, and it's a shame. Anyway, we'll go on to the summary. Right, now this is the summary. There's a lot of things wrong with No Man's Sky. Leave me your comments below what you think's wrong. If you disagree with me or agree with me, put it in the comments. This is an open discussion for everybody. I don't mind other content creators using this video, you know, to make themselves a video on it. You go for it, right? Just give me a mention, right? And that's about it. Okay, I hope you enjoy No Man's Sky like I do. I've been playing it for years now, and I go to it every day. But it becomes incredibly boring at times, you know, especially when you're a long-term player. But anyway, I've had my rant today, and I think my hay fever's cleared up a little bit. Anyway, folks, good to see everybody. Hope you're having a nice weekend, and I'll see you all in the next. Tatty bye.
The gamer with no filter, keeping it real. No